All right, so we're going to start on the urinary system. All we had was a few slides of the respiratory system, so I'm going to start on the urinary system because we really only have Thursday, this lecture, and then two lectures next week to finish the semester. So I want to be able to have time to finish the urinary system and also talk for spend a little bit of time on the digestive system. Unfortunately, we tend to neglect the digestive system a little bit, but it's one of the more straightforward systems. So anyway, hopefully we'll get to cover it in sufficient detail next week. So anyway, that's why I'm going to go on, even though I posted a short second half to the respiratory system. So when we talk about the urinary system, we're going to talk about some major functions. And if you look at your slide, I have a few others there, but these are really the primary functions. First and foremost, the removal of metabolic waste. Now, what is that? When we think back all the way to the beginning of A&P, we had talked about the biological macromolecules. We had said that we have proteins and nucleic acids that have, among other things, nitrogen present in them. Nucleic acids and proteins, some proteins have sulfur in them as well. And these compounds can be toxic, nitrogen in particular. It forms ammonia, for crying out loud. And, just sniff a bottle of ammonia and that's not good for you. And it isn't. So you have to deal with the nitrogen. So the urinary system is going to be filtering this out. So we're going to talk about removal of nitrogenous waste. Regulation of red blood cell concentration. So your kidneys are going to be monitoring for oxygen levels. And when oxygen levels are low, they're going to be secreting this hormone we've talked about on a number of occasions throughout the year. It's called erythropoietin. And what does it do? It stimulates red blood cell synthesis. So they're going to be regulating the concentrations of red blood cells by monitoring for oxygen levels and secreting erythropoietin when it gets low. Water. This is where you remove water. And so what does water produce? High blood pressure. So you regulate blood pressure in the kidneys by removal of water. The other thing that I mentioned in your notes has to do with some of the ions. Well, they're going to be removed in the kidneys as well, under the influence of different hormones that we've talked about in the past. Finally, we had said acid-base balance. And we had said that, we had the carbonic acid system that I was just talking about a few minutes ago at the end of the respiratory system. We had said that that's a way to deal with, to buffer the pH in the blood. But ultimately, you have to get rid of those excess hydrogen ions. And what do? They're secreted into the forming urine. And so we have these major functions that are being performed by the kidneys and the urinary system. And we're going to talk next about what is the functional unit of the kidney. And it's this thing called a nephron. And the kidneys, like most all of these functions that I've made reference to, revolve around filtration of blood plasma. And that happens in a nephron.